Welcome to T21 Mom.
Hi friends, it's Mary, mom to Ainsley, who rocks an extra chromosome and also has autism. And welcome to the T21 Mom podcast, and this is episode 113. How do you feel about holidays? Do you dread them or do you look forward to them? What would you do if you got a potato on Halloween? And have you ever wondered what your non-speaking child remembers? These are some of the things that I've been thinking about lately and that I was going to share about today. So I actually survived Halloween and actually really enjoy Halloween. I usually dress up, but this year I just didn't feel into it. I don't know why. I couldn't find my Snow White costume, which I've had for many, many years. I hope it turns up somewhere because I really like that costume. But it's always a little bit of a rush because I had to work, but I was able to get off a little bit early. And thankfully, Daycare, they had a little pizza party for the kids, so you didn't really have to worry about dinner. So essentially, we came home, dropped off our stuff, and then we headed over to my brother's because he is in a townhouse complex and it's just so much easier to go there. And all the neighbors get right into it. Everyone's dressed up. It's actually a lot of fun. Some houses even have Jello shots for the adults. It's great. And you know, the weather was great. Usually it can be kind of hit and miss here for Halloween, you know, with the rain, but it was dry and it wasn't all that cold. So it was great. And Ainsley really rocked it this year. She dressed up as Dorothy from The Wizard of Oz, and she was just so cute. And she had a really big basket to carry, you know, for all the candy. And the basket itself was actually quite heavy, but she did it. And I was just so proud of her. And although Ainsley has really, I feel, quite good receptive language, like she seems to understand pretty much everything I say to her. I often wonder if she understands concepts or what memories she has. Like, I do think this year she kind of understood the concept of going to people's doors, knocking on them. She seems to really like to knock on doors, and that she would get candy in return. You know, we did kind of practice saying trick or treat or candy please, but I found most places they didn't seem to care. They would just either give the candy or hand the bowl, and you could take candy out. But I think next year we'll practice taking candy out of a bowl because she didn't seem all that interested in doing that. I'm sure she wanted the candy, but I had to do a lot of hand over hand for her to actually take it out of the bowl and put it in her basket. But, you know, we just had so much fun, and we ran into one of my nephews while we were out. I actually didn't even see him. He saw us, and he went home to change out of his Viking costume, and then he changed into army fatigues, and he went around again. And he said one neighbor actually recognized him, but didn't really care and gave him more candy. And at one house, it was a teacher at this one house, and I thought this was really interesting. She offered him and his two friends either a potato or candy. And you would think since they're going out twice that they would take the candy. But they actually didn't. All three of them took the potato. Now, the lady at this house, she said that she was doing a little experiment. I don't know exactly what the experiment was, but apparently my nephew was telling me that this was all over Instagram to, you know, offer a potato or candy. I guess I missed that. And, you know, the next day I was on Facebook And I saw something about the potato or the candy. And what someone wrote was, I thought was really interesting. They said, part of the reason to give a potato is because it sparks conversation and creates memories. I thought, how cool is that? Because that's exactly what it did. When I saw my nephew at his home later, they were all talking about this potato that they received. He pulled out of his bag a potato, and I said, "You got a potato?" And then he, proceeded to tell me about what happened when they went to that house, and that they all took a potato, and some of his two friends were saying what they were going to do with the potato. I think one said he was going to make fries. And so I thought that was really cool, because they're also always going to remember that on one Halloween night, they got a potato at someone's house. So I thought that was really quite cool and really kind of interesting. So, we didn't get a potato, but I think I would have taken it. Did any of your kids get a potato when they were out trick-or-treating? I'd love to hear about it. And as I've talked about before, we've started back with music therapy. Ainsley does music therapy also at school. I'm assuming it's with all of her classmates. And it was funny because last week her EA told me a really cute story that Ainsley went rogue in the music class and was going to all the different groups and getting them all to sing Happy Birthday, which is her favorite song. So I thought that was quite funny. And, sometimes when I look at Ainsley, I wonder, what are her memories? What does she remember? Does she have good memories or any bad memories? Because on Mondays, we go to music. It's after a very busy day. We have 1 to 2 therapies in the morning. Then she goes to school. And then right after school, she has 2 hours with her BI, her behavior interventionist, Mercy. And, Mercy's awesome. And they have a lot of fun together. And Ainsley really loves her and has totally thrived with her. But that's a busy day. And then we go to music, until just before 8:00. So that's a pretty long day. And whenever I tell Ainsley we're going to music, she says Nam. And Nam is the name of our old instructor, but it's at the same place. And I always say, well, we used to see Nam, but now we see Michaela. And she's trying hard to say her name, but it comes out as Kayla. And so she's getting there. But it makes me really happy that, after more than 2 years, because we didn't go for over 2 years, that she still remembers Nam. And she still remembers that was the place for music. So I thought that was kind of cool, because it kind of reinforced a few things for me that, we can do different things, that we can go on vacation, or we can go have experiences and make memories, and that she'll remember them. Because I often wonder what's going on inside her head. And I think about when I was her age, what memories I have from when I was in grade 6. And I wonder, will she have some of those similar memories? And I hope maybe one day that she'll be able to tell me. And last week, I went to a really fun event called the T21 Summit. And it was put on by Down Syndrome BC. You can Google them. They're on all the social media platforms. And it was kind of like a mini conference. They had some entrepreneurs there with Down syndrome, selling their wares. And I got some lovely soap from Simon's Soap Box and some really yummy granola from the Granola Kid. It really is so good. And I also got a book called The Rainbow Puppy Daycare. And it's written by a young woman, young girl, I guess. I think she's 13. Her name is Kara Komukai. And, I picked up the book. She was there at the conference, and I started flipping through it, and I saw a name that I knew. I go, oh, that's Ainsley's EA's name. And then I looked at a picture and I go, that's Ainsley's EA. And it turned out it was him. So I asked Kara and her mom, was this your EA? Because this is my daughter's EA now. And they said yes. And what happened is Dave, Ainsley's EA, he was Kara's EA during the pandemic, and she actually really thrived with the online learning. And part of her work, or her online work, was to create this story. And it's so cute and really lovely. And I had her sign the book. So, go check it out. I'll put a link in the show notes. Again, it's Rainbow Puppy Daycare. And it's just a really sweet little book. And I think you would really enjoy it. And so part of the conference, they had a couple different panels. There was a parent panel, which was great. And they also had a young person's advocate panel. And they all did so awesome. And one of the dads, Craig, his daughter, Sarah, was in the young person's advocate panel. And he was just so proud. They were all speaking just so well. And it was just so great to see them up there and to see them sharing their stories and different things that are going on in their lives. It really was really wonderful to see. And then to close out the day, there was a guest speaker, and her name is Madison Tevlin. Now, she is one of the stars from the movie Champions. Now, if you haven't seen that movie, find a way to see it. Rent it, do whatever. It's such a great movie. Woody Harrelson's the star, and I believe he also produced it. And she was Constantine in the movie. I think she was the only female in the movie. And she gave a little talk, and which was awesome. And after, she was just chatting with the facilitator, and she's so funny. She really is quite funny and so well spoken. And of course, everyone wants to get a picture with her. And after, she was just so gracious with her time and waited for every single person to get a picture with her. And it was just a really great afternoon. It was so nice to see other parents, and many who I knew, but also there were a lot of people there that I did not know. And so it was really nice to chat with some of the different parents there. And I just really think we need to attend these types of events. And, obviously it depends where you live, but I really encourage you to try to attend the various Down syndrome events that are available to you, or perhaps you can create your own. I do my little Zoom barbecue every year. Yes, I meet with those people every other week, essentially. And, I always like to do the barbecue in the summer where we can all see each other in person. And I love doing that. I love creating that sense of community. And, it doesn't have to be anything big. It can just be even a coffee chat. You can meet in a coffee shop somewhere. For example, I go to a knit group every week, and we just go to a Starbucks. And, it was arranged ahead of time. It's been going on for years. And we take a few tables, and they're really lovely that letting us, congregate there. So I don't see why you can't do something like that. I just think it's so important to have a sense of community. I think we need others that we can share, our stories, our triumphs and our struggles and our tribulations, with people who are on a similar journey that we're on, just to create that sense of community. And, that's one of the big reasons that I go to the retreat every year. It's important for me to have that community. Some people may feel they don't necessarily need that, and that's fine. But I know for me that I need that. And, we're all from all walks of life, but, we've created, like my Haunted Rockin' Moms, we have really created a strong bond. And as Janess said, we are a fierce but loyal bunch. And that is so, so true. And we have gone through some really hard times this past year. And I think it's all made us even closer. So I just really encourage you to try to find your tribe, find your community, go to the retreat or create something so that you can build those connections with others. I just think it's so, so important. And on a positive note, Ainsley had her palate expander put back in. She took it out a few weeks ago and she handled it like a champ. Granted, I did kind of bribe her with a McDonald's smoothie after, but she did so, so well. The ortho, though, said she would have really had to pull hard to get it out, but her EA just said she literally put her finger in her mouth and it just flipped out. I don't know if maybe it had somehow come loose or something. I don't know. But regardless, she got it out, but she's got another one in. But we also didn't lose a lot of turns. That's what I was really worried about. I was so worried that we'd be starting over because we were about halfway, but we actually only lost 2 turns, and the ortho just did those 2 turns after she put it in. So we're back to where we had left off. So that is really great. And I just fingers crossed, I hope it doesn't happen again. She's tolerated it really well. She hasn't even tried to take it out like she did the first time. I guess because the first time it was something completely foreign in her mouth. The second time, she probably remembers what it was and has done really well. Just unfortunately a lot of drooling with the palate expander, but we're working on that and hopefully that will improve with time. I'll let you know how it goes. So thanks for listening to the T21 Mom podcast. And I really do appreciate you listening. And I'm sorry that I haven't been as consistent as I would like in getting the episodes out to you. It's a lot of work to put this all together, but I love doing it. It's important to me, but I also really enjoy doing this. It's a true labor of love, but it does take a lot of my time. And as we all know, we're all busy. We have a million things going on in our lives, but I do try to make time for this. So I appreciate you sticking with me and listening to each episode as it comes out. So keep on loving on your rockin' kiddos, and I'll see you next time.